I'm Amber Bell, and this is Real Agriculture. Here today with Mindy Anderson, who is with the Saskatchewan Stock Growers Foundation. And you guys just had a big announcement. Talk to me a little bit about this, Mindy.
Yes, we're very excited. We just signed our first official term conservation easement since the conception of the Saskatchewan Stock Growers Foundation. So it's a big step, and we're very excited to talk about it.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about it. Why is this one significant?
So this one is significant because, to our knowledge, there's no other term conservation easements programs in Canada. So this is the first one that we're aware of that's been signed, and it just brings a whole new level of flexibility to grassland conservation programs. It helps to meet more ranchers where they're at, and hopefully um, get more enrollment in these types of conservation programs in the long run.
How is a term easement different from a permanent one? What does that look like?
So the big difference between a perpetual easement versus a term conservation easement is the term length. So perpetual easements, once that easement's on the land title, it's on there forever, regardless of who owns that land. With a term easement, it's just on the land title for the term length itself. So our term lengths vary. They start at 25 years and they can go up to 30, 35, 40, 45 years. So like I said, that added flexibility can help maybe meet those ranchers with a few more needs than perpetual easements have previously, and just bring a new
Mhm.
level of flexibility.
Right, definitely. Okay, and tell me about the piece of land that is now under easement. Talk to me a little bit about this. Why is it important?
So the land that's under easement is just south of Fir Mountain, Saskatchewan, close to the Montana border, and it actually is adjacent to Grasslands National Park. So it exists in a large tract of native grasslands already. And so helping to preserve these larger blocks really helps contribute to the overall conservation goal of keeping these grasslands on the landscape and supporting those communities. This land itself is home to numerous species at risk, including uh, oh, I don't even know how many birds, grassland birds. And then it also is known as critical habitat for the greater sage grouse and swift fox as well. So it really helps to support a wide range of wildlife, and being a part of the agency that gets to help conserve that is very exciting for us.
And talk about what a rancher can or cannot do under the easement. What does that look like?
So our easements only come with three restrictions: no break, no drain, and no development. So it's fairly straightforward. The whole purpose of these conservation easements is to keep these ecologically sensitive landscapes intact. So we don't want to cultivate these native grasslands. We don't want to build big yards or shops or buildings on these grasslands. And then any existing waterways, we want to keep those as intact as possible as well. But we're also flexible in the sense we understand that these grasslands need to be grazed. So when it
Mhm.
comes to things like developing livestock water, we are completely open and honest with landowners when it comes to that. And we make sure that if there's a goal or a project that they have in mind for that, that we talk about that beforehand so we can make sure that it doesn't interfere with anything down the line.
Is there support for any of, let's say, new water systems or anything like that? If a landowner is looking to maybe protect some riparian areas, is there support for that?
Yeah, we do have support through that, through some of our habitat management agreements. It's a slightly different program, but we are able to provide funding and technical and financial support to get those projects on the ground and hopefully support that rancher.
So, is there any support or knowledge that you guys give the ranchers as they go under the easement on how they can best protect the wildlife that's being supported there?
Yeah, 100%. So before we do place these easements on the land, we go out and we do rangeland health assessments just to get kind of a baseline with what the health is of that grassland at that given time. And then we can kind of work off that. And if there's any sort of problem areas, we can definitely have a conversation with the landowner at that point. But we also work with various other agencies. One of the big ones being like Birds Canada. They do all these bird studies on the land for us. And then when it comes to things like critical habitat mapping, we do all that beforehand. So all this information that we collect about the wildlife, the range health, it's available to the landowners. So we share all
Very
that
cool.
information back with them. And it's honestly really exciting to pass that information back to the landowner because they may have managed it for generations, but sometimes they have no idea like the amount of grassland birds that it's supporting, um, or they've never seen like a pronghorn down in that pasture, and we did. So it's always exciting to have those conversations about this is actually everything that your habitat and your grasslands and your pastures are supporting, and it kind of gives them new perspective.
So you guys are working with the Weston Family Foundation. What role have they played in seeing this easement come to pass?
Yeah, the Weston Family Foundation was one of our first funders, and they were one of the original groups that saw the vision that we had in regards to creating flexible grassland programming that is practical, and works on the ground and truly makes an impact. So without their support, we truly wouldn't be where we are today, um, making a difference in these ranchers' lives and within their communities as well. And so we're very thankful to have partners like them. Their knowledge and their support is invaluable to us.
Where can ranchers go if they are looking for more information on having the easement put onto their own piece of property?
Yeah, so the easiest place would probably be our website. It's just www.ssgf.ca, and we have all of our contact information and program information listed there. So they're more than welcome to check that out. We're also active on social media if they want to follow us there. But yeah, don't be afraid to reach out if you have any questions, and we can get a conversation started.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. And that was Mindy Anderson on Real Agriculture.